I agree.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Xavier's Journey, where people are okay, God, here we go. Sorry, can we do this over? Okay, anyway, thank you for everyone to tuning in. While I'm talking, people are listening. I am Xavier's Journey, and this is my panelists, Mr. John Bryce, Dr. Watson, Nancy Watson, and Dr. D. Smith. So we're celebrating Happy Father's Day for all the good fathers that's raising their children, and we're gonna also do Happy Juneteenth also. So we're gonna just have a conversation and celebrate the fathers today. And I just want to dedicate this Father's Day show to my dad, Pastor Stanley R. Simpson, and John and Dion. You can shout out your fathers too.
I shout out Bishop Howard Crosby. Ooh,
Oh,
Yes, Bishop Eric Jones.
Well, and I shout out Deacon John Bryce. I'm actually a junior.
oh, nice.
yeah, all right. Thank God. So I wanted to ask a question. What is I know how we were all raised in the church. So how I was raised, where God inspired, put His Spirit into fathers to raise their children. So what do you think the role as a father for his daughter and his son? What is the role of the father to raise his children? So I'll ask John, because you're the other brother on the phone on the panel.
So I think that I want to go. I want to start with this. I think that we can't keep quantifying fatherhood based off exposure and experience. It's no matter what it is, it's still a father. Whether you are in the individual's life or you're not, you start off as a father because with two create one.
Mm-hmm.
So because I think it mixes up, it muddies the water. Then I think when you go to the examples of fathers, the examples of fathers is truly based off children that you're raising, the environment that you're raising them in. There's not a standard, basic standard that's universal for all, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because I dread Father's Day. I dread Father's Day because I don't look at any social media, and I know I'm going to get bashed for saying this, but it's still Father's Day. You can't say my deadbeat father, I'm a mother and a father. No, it's just Father's Day. It's one day.
Right.
And I think if you do that, it recognizes the individuals. Like, I don't feel like I need to have to separate myself from individuals because what I do as a father is just in me. It's genetics. And I don't have to share that experience with any other brother out there. It's
Right.
just my experience. But to hear about the deadbeat fathers, I'm a mother and a father, so I'm celebrating Father's Day. It's a smack in the face
Right.
for children who don't understand exactly what any of this is going on.
Right.
And it's almost like it's a self-taught behavior that it's sort of inherited.
So so fathers. So basically, okay, like I was raised in a pastors. My parents were both pastors.
Mhm.
We were taught the word of God and how we should live and how the brothers should act and how my sisters would have to act. So explain to me the role of a father raising a daughter or raising a son. Is it the same? What do you teach your daughter that you would teach your son?
Well, can I just tag on to what John
Yeah.
said? I
Yeah.
do definitely agree that there's a difference between a father and a dad. And so, like he's saying, like, if you have given your sperm to someone, and that could be in a myriad of ways, you have fathered a child, but it doesn't make you, a dad. And I feel like when it comes to fathering in the home and being a dad in the home, I always immediately first go to provision because I am going to go to the Bible based word. Now, do women provide? Absolutely,
Yes.
but men, stereotypically has been a provider for their family. The second word that comes to my mind is protector of that family. But what I like now is that we're asking fathers to do their own inner work so that they could be more than providers and protectors, but they can also be the generational curse breakers by their prayer life, by their emotional stability, by learning the skill of saying how they feel instead of acting out how they feel, and doing that by example. Another way is by showing up, not just being present physically, but actually being present mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for your children at major events or just at home chilling, watching TV. Actually being present, I feel like, are some of the key components that I look at as what a father would be to a child.
Okay.
I like to chime in. When I think of fathers and all that you're saying, in addition to a teacher, someone that can teach their children life. It's something when a father can teach their child, okay, how to pray, how to ride a bike, how to, even a son, how to put on clothes. I remember, now I was a single mom, so I played dual roles. And I didn't know anything. And I'm just going to say an example. I have two boys. And when it was time for them to potty train, oh boy, I was the one teaching them. I think this is how you do it. Let's be honest. So I believe a father should be a teacher, not only just in everything. I look at my father, he taught me how to pray. He's a bishop. He taught me how to preach. You understand what I'm saying? He taught me, okay, a man should provide, like Dr. D, you were outlining, to provide and be there for your family. So in addition to all, I also believe a father should be the one to teach their children. I believe education starts at home first.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And if I can add to that, I mean, statistics shows like for teenage pregnancies, 25.3% of Hispanics, 25.8% of African American, 11% white American, Native American counts for like 29%.
Right.
So then think about this. It's teenage pregnancy. A teenage boy is not a man. So to take on the responsibilities of being a father starts with the maturity of knowing exactly how to raise. You can't really raise anybody when you're being raised yourself.
Right.
So the adjustment from the misconception is everybody's a father. No, a teenage child is a child growing whom by relationship became a father. It wasn't a matrimony and then we had a child. We wanted a child and we had a child. This is in most cases accidental.
Right.
So when you equate that into the equation, because these same children are going to grow up to be adults, and what they always say, the sins of your father. You're right. That's what happened in the past is still present.
Right.
So those years that you're not able to be the father, guess what happens? Those are lost years, and those are very viable years, especially to a female. Who, in my case, females are more nurturing to their father until they learn that they need their mothers more than their fathers, because a woman can teach a woman to be a woman, and a man can teach a boy to be a man. And I think our roles sort of switch at a certain age, because my boys, I raised them. And it's funny, my wife and we just had a conversation about this. We're talking to my son. She was like, you know what? I realized this. I can nurture them, but the only person in this house can teach them how to be a man is you.
Right.
Right.
I definitely want to add to that. And I guess I want to stir the pot a little bit, because let's just say you have a teenager who grew up in the hard knocks of life or whatever, but they have the wherewithal to provide, protect, and to be emotionally there. Because I know of some extremely grown people who don't have emotional maturity. So although you're physically of the age, you're at the age where, it's expected that you're a father, but your age can't be the only indicator And matrimony definitely isn't the only indicator, because there are grown folks, 60, 70, and 45,
And still
30,
acting like a kid.
that have the emotional maturity of a 12-year-old. So when their child does something that they don't like, then you get a myriad of how can I say it? Abusive
Childish.
tendencies that happen, emotional abusive, that they don't think is anything, like this is just me. But no, I definitely feel like there's a physical maturity, but then there's also that emotional maturity that I feel like all of us, and I'm not, dad bashing, even women, we need to know that our emotional maturity needs to scale. It needs to grow. So I'm just
Well,
stirring
and
the pot a little bit.
no, and I love, I absolutely, I love it because think about this. When I hear somebody say, "Tell a man, be a man,"
Right,
what else can I be? And you're
right.
right. There are some very immature men. But now dissect that immature man and ask yourself this: was that an immature man raised by another man, or how was he raised? Because
Facts.
it has a lot to do with it. It
Right,
has
Does.
a
right.
lot to do with it.
Again, mhm, I
I'm
like
sorry.
it goes back to being taught how to be a father.
Mhm.
What examples do you see? Because I've seen in the culture, in certain cultures that I've seen, you have young men that have children at 18 years old, 16, 17 years old, but they have seen good role
Yeah.
models.
Mhm.
Like they will go out and work at
Mhm.
18 years old, 10, 12, 16-hour day jobs just to provide. Because in their mindset, I must provide as a father. So
Mhm.
it goes back to, what examples do you see? Who's teaching you how to be a man, how to be a father? A lot of times when you find 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds, not working, but just, not providing, not being a protector, not just being a lot of these examples or characteristics of a father. No one taught them.
That's right.
Right,
And
right.
and to add to that, it like I wasn't my father and I we wasn't together.
Mhm.
My mother and father divorced when I was 3 years old. That was it. So my
Right.
grandfather was like my step in father figure. And it was ironic because they gave me so much support that my grandfather knew that I did not want to even see a picture of my father.
Wow.
Mhm.
He took every picture out of the house so that he respected my wishes. And you know what? At age 27, my wife actually contacted my father and said,
Wow.
"You know what? I think you need to talk to him." And I was like, "I don't know it yet. I don't want to talk to him." And guess what? Since 27, every single Sunday at 8 o'clock sharp, every single Sunday we talk.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
And that's
So
important.
it
And that's
teach.
what brings on.
I had a lot of self teaching, but I had some people that I mimic around me that to me showed the definition of what a man felt. What it
Mhm.
does, and I wanted it inside because I had that loss for having the presence of my father in my life at that time frame.
And it's so
So,
funny. And it's a short version. It's like when I went through cancer, 2012, 2000, yeah, 2012. I had a diagnosis, and when I say terrified, I
Mhm.
was 40 something. My sister, I called my sister and I said, Hillary, this is what's going on. She said, call dad. Dad worked at the hospital. I called dad. Dad said, I will be your support system. So he went with me to all of my appointments and told the doctors, I'm here for my son's support. So this is why I was saying I was dedicating this show to my dad because he has taught me how to be a man. He's taught me how to, he used to always say to me, his favorite line is, you make a mistake, knock off the dust off your feet, get up and try again. You know the Jamaican stand. So it's like I'm grateful for his statues because even like my other siblings, my brothers, we all follow in the footsteps of dad. Like for example, daddy loved to cook for Thanksgiving. We all cook now. I love to
yeah.
throw it out of the kitchen.
Right.
Thanksgiving, I said, Daddy, they gave me a turkey. I don't know what to do because I've never did a turkey. He said he gave me the basics. He said, you go make your turkey and videotape it and let me see what you did. And I did a great job. And I started giving
Oh,
food to
that's
the
beautiful.
lives. So if when you have a good father that
Yeah.
gives you the instruction, like I always hear women say, well, I didn't have any instruction how to raise my children. The men don't have an instruction. I would say maybe the instructions came from God, and you train up the child so when he gets older, he would know how to depart from the family and become a man. But some people don't have that instruction.
And,
Instruction.
and I think we need to talk to those individuals, because if I was listening to this and I'm a father that, I don't have a father in my life and I don't have a role model as a father in my life, it sort of still leaves me lost, because to have an example of a good father or to mimic a good father, I don't have. So what I think to those individuals, I'll say this: it starts with you. When you want to break a generational curse, you have to start with yourself, so
Yes.
you can figure out how you don't continue on that curse. Just be the better father to that child that wasn't the father to you.
Right.
That means that you have to deplete the emotions from the relationship. No matter what is going on in a relationship, you want to make sure that that child doesn't feel that effect of it. And you keep a standard. You don't use the child as a pawn. And I find that happens a lot into young relationships as well as older ones too. The only way you're going to see your child is if you bring some financial contribution to
Yeah,
it.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
That finance will go faster than you blink your eye. But that emotional touch, taking that child to the park, getting ice cream, just spending that bonding time, that goes way further than
It
financial,
does.
situations.
I I agree, and I just want to add just like how Xavier shared a little testimony, and this is just for single women to kind of add on to what John said. I remember when I became a single mom, when myself and my daughter's dad split. And as Christian single women, we should operate differently. We should move differently. And whoever is listening, if you are a Christian single woman and you're raising your children, if you know that your children aren't going to be harmed, allow the father to have access to their child, whatever that looks like, and don't boss it around. It is not your job to say call between 5 and 6. If the man calls at 9:30, the child wants to talk to the dad, and he'll lose 5 minutes of sleep. So what? Don't boss everything around because of that spirit of control. When myself and my daughter's father, we separated, God spoke to me. Rewind that tape. God spoke to me and
Right.
said, you have a relationship with your father. I said, yes, Lord, I do. He said, allow that your daughter to have a relationship with her father at all costs. So if there were times when her father got busy and he did not call and check up on her, I would text him, hey, is everything okay? Now, that went against how I felt. But I would say, hey, is everything okay? Are you good? I just want to make sure because, Tink miss you or whatever. And then the love and compassion that I showed to him, it then would cause him to call, hey, he'd take her out. And that's all for her. There was no benefit in that for me. But Christian women who are listening, if you are raising your children, and if the father wants to have a relationship, please open up that door. Please let God lead you and guide you and get yourself out of the way. I just wanted to put that little nugget in there.
Well, and Dion, can I add,
Like,
can I add this a little bit, because you just
mm,
spoke so elegant about that. Can I add just to this? Even the ones that don't want to have a relationship, it's not
Facts.
an option. It's not an option to, once you become a father, there is not an option not to become a father. Now, there's an option to be a dad,
Right.
but there's not an option to be a father. So I don't care if it's every single holiday, you remind that individual you have a child. If you got to take them around the family, if you got to just take them to the person, you don't have to keep them with them. You just want to put eyes on them and show them, listen, I'm not here to cause you any problems. I'm just here to show you that you still have a child, and that this child will not grow up thinking that he does, or she doesn't grow up thinking they don't have a father.
Right.
That to me, the obligation. I think the men sort of get out of the obligation like it's a choice. It's not a choice,
Not a choice. You brought this
no
child
matter
into
what.
the world.
I would like to I would like to celebrate all those fathers that was in or dads that chose to be in a child's life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, period. That see the lack of that child, what they had, and say, you know what, I want to be that role model. I would like to be that person to be in that child's life and help that child. Those who are listening, or the fathers that are listening, I like to celebrate you so much, because there are fathers, like you said, John, there are fathers that don't want to have anything to do with their
Yeah,
child.
you're right.
I mean, literally. I mean, you can bring them around the family. You can. They is like, no, I'm gone.
Right.
I'm gonna do what I want to do. And guess what? It's up to that mom. So, but then there are programs like Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Yes.
There are, grandparent programs. Literally, I took advantage of them. There are programs that are out there that will, and even those who are in the church, brothers that are in the church that would say, I'll take on your son. I'll teach them. I'll be there for them on their birthday. I will buy them gifts.
Right.
Those godfathers, seriously, those adopted aunts and those uncles, literally.
Yeah.
So I celebrate you on Father's Day. Yes, you
Yeah.
may not have your own child, but you took the time to take on another child to call your own.
Well,
Amen.
and
Just
I
want to
think, Doctor,
celebrate that.
you can deal with the psychological aspect of it too as well, because I'm going to say it's is it really the child that they're with, or is it the relationship they're with? Because when you end the relationship, you're not ending it with the child, you're ending it with the person. And some guys
They don't know how
truly
to
feel that
separate.
if I can't
Mm-mm.
have you, then I don't want to deal with the child. But that's not
That's
an option
unfortunate.
for that.
Yeah.
So what do you say to the psychological aspect of, because I think it really is psychological aspect of individuals thinking that there is a separation of choice. And I'll tell you a funny thing. My wife will tell you, she'll say, you're a better father than you are a husband. And that's
Mhm.
because when I say I devoted my time to making sure our
Being a good
kids
father.
are taken care of, that's what I do. Now that my youngest is literally graduated from high school, all the way to college, now I can devote my time to being a better husband.
Right.
Because guess what? That's that barrier of being a father is
Right.
I'm a consultant now as a father because they're growing up. But
Mhm.
what do you think about the psychological aspect of it, as like men believing that they can just walk away from a responsibility?
So we're gonna, if I had to put a title on it, I would say they're in neglect and abandonment. And listen, that's a learned skill. You know, it's a choice. It is a choice. Even though they gave sperm to produce, it's still a choice to stay. It's still a choice to engage. And sometimes that abandonment and neglect is just literally passed down. Were
Right.
they walked out on? Have they experienced that in other areas of their life? So if they don't have the woman, or if the woman puts them on child support and hurts their ego or feelings,
Hmm.
they say, I'm going to get to the woman by not engaging with, oh, she wants this so bad. Oh, I'm a shower. I'm not going to engage with the child because I'm trying to get all of that. Is it goes back to that emotional immaturity, and it goes back to neglect and abandonment. And
Mhm.
so then we have a generation. We can now open this up to making it bigger.
Right.
Then we're spearheading to now a community of people who have abandonment issues, neglect issues,
Mhm.
and have not learned to be emotionally mature. So then you have our young boys sometimes who can shoot another black man because there's no honor there.
Right.
I don't honor
Yep.
it. I don't honor it. When my experience has only been filtered in neglect and abandonment. So I'm gonna be quiet because I know I'm gonna set it off here.
No,
So
no, no, no. I
Good.
think
It's
this is
good.
100% appropriate, because if you think about, like, child support is a measure of punishment that some individuals use to punish the father, and then and in that sense, the father has a reason now to sort of, and that's not a legitimate reason, but to them they have a reason not to be a part of a child's life. So it's and then you think about this: what about the countless of individuals who are not the fathers, who are being accused as fathers, taking care of the kids, and then come to find out years later that that's not their fault. They're not biologically written to their child. The heartbreak, the emotional tear that it tears with them, the loss of relationship, and maybe even possible incarceration for something, and they that they didn't know, that you say it's like a tricky sword. between relationships. And I think we sort of navigate toward the worst and the best. At any point, a child needs a father. Doesn't matter if it's yours
Yeah.
or not. That
Right.
child needs a father. So which means is when God places something in your life, that's what he wants you to take care of.
Facts.
And with us as men, if we can get through to young men understanding that the reason you're in the life of that child is because God sees fit that you have an example to show them. It may
Right.
change the direction of individuals trying to figure out, am I the biological father or do I want to be a father? Guess what? It's not a choice. This day was made for this day. And if that child
Even
grows up to be a Barack Obama or, a Thurgood Marshall, you don't know.
Don't know.
You don't
that's
know. So get into that child's life.
and it's
Yeah.
and even like for me, I'm a godfather. I don't have any children, but I have young ladies and young men that sit down with me and want to have a chit chat, and I'm like, I'm in my 50s, so I give them the best advice that I've like the teachings I got. I might pour it into them and say, look at it this way. Have you looked at it this way? So I educate them how I should know my knowledge, and I pour into them, and then they said, wow, I didn't see it that way. So I'm glad that I'm have a lot of godchildren, some new godchildren, and I just thank God that we're able as men to pour into them. Even like the sisters too. Y'all pour into the men, the young men, and I'm just grateful for that. And
So
so everyone, go ahead, John. One more question, one more
I'm
answer.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Go
I
into
have
the
two of the
truth
most powerful
segment.
women on this right here on this segment. And it
Yes,
just touched me just a second ago to realize that there's a question that hasn't been asked that I think that the majority of individuals will relate to more than anything in the world is, can I
right.
ask you both a question? How do you feel having to assume the role as primary guardian when a separation occurs?
Hmm.
I think myself and Dr. Nancy, uh we walked a similar journey, but it was different. I think the outcomes were different. For me, I didn't ever really feel alone. I didn't feel, and like Dr. Nancy, I had my dad, and then my daughter's dad definitely engaged. So I didn't feel alone raising my daughter. He was a part. So I can say that he was a part. He provided. He did his part after the split. I will just add this little bit for Christian women. A lot of times, if you're raised in a strict holiness Pentecostal apostolic ministry, you're taught, keep your legs closed. I mean, we're adults, so I'm gonna say it how I say it. Keep your legs closed, don't have babies out of wedlock. And for some of us Christian women, we do that. But then we get married and have a failed marriage, and you still a single mom. When you show up to fill out paperwork, they don't know if you had the baby. As when you still a single mom, and that was the disappointing thing. I said, Lord, this is still on me. That was the disappointing thing. But when it came to rearing her, I have to honestly say, to God be the glory. But I didn't feel like I was alone.
What about you, Nancy?
Well, my story was a little different.
Right.
Yes, we do share similar paths in terms of being in the church. Um, but I have 4 children, and I was married, and they were all with the same man. Unfortunately, we went our separate ways, got divorced, and that was it. That was it. It was similar to what John was saying in terms of he, if because he wasn't with me, then he's not with the children, which was very painful. So my journey as a single mom, it was traumatic for my children. So they had to deal with the trauma of not having an active father there. So it was painful. It was very painful, raising them every Father's Day, you know, going to them being in elementary school, going to dad for donuts, it was me. Um, yeah, it was painful. So, and they didn't understand at the time, like why everybody got a dad and I don't.
Yeah.
And I say, well, it's just different. Some people, it's just different. It's different forms of a family.
Right.
Um,
And you find yourself
so
making excuses for the absence of.
yes, well, yeah, I was more. I told them the truth. I didn't hide anything from them. I just told them what it was. Then it came a point in their time in their life, or that he wanted to be involved in their life, but they didn't want him.
Yeah.
You have to go through court. They was like, Mom, why do I have to go to court all the time? And it's because he wanted to see his children. And of course, you have to do court hearings and stuff. And they didn't want that. They didn't want to be, they didn't know him.
Right.
They didn't know him. And when he would come around, I remember a particular story. I would never forget it. My daughter was about 4 and he came to visit. And I went over his mother's house and I brought him. And my other daughter was like, Daddy. And my 4-year-old said, Daddy, and walked right past him. Just ran right past him. But she didn't know who he was.
Who he was, right?
And she would just, mocking her older sister. And I just thought it was so funny, but I would never forget that moment. And that was relationship. Now they're adults.
Yeah.
They know who he is. They
How
have.
does it affect them? How do you think that it affect them growing up like that without the presence of as adults?
I mean, and a lot, like I said, little different areas of where a child will grow up. So, like my son did sports. They did basketball, they did wrestling, they track. When you would think a father was there, they weren't. It was me.
Right.
Every Father's Day was painful. Every Father's Day was painful. I don't know how to explain that no more. Now they're accepting it now. They accept what it is. They know who he is. I've always taught them to respect him, not to, from a biblical standpoint, just honor him. And they used to argue back with me, Mom, I'm gonna honor somebody I don't see. Well, still honor him. He still is your father. When you see him, I try as a mom not to say anything bad towards him. I thank God for my sisters. That's all I can say. But, in front of my children, he was still their father.
Right.
He was their father. And because of that, even in talking to him now, he's grateful. He said, thank you for raising the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was something, John. It was something. It was a journey. It was a journey, but it took a lot of prayer. And I reached out. I was a type of mom. I reached out. God has blessed me with some wonderful brothers. I reached out to them. I reached out to them, and they a lot of times they knew, like, okay, Nancy need a break, and they would take my boys, and my girls. My father was in another state at the time, but they would spend the summers with them. So they received that father role model in some sense, but actually being in the home was not there. It was tough.
And I think that's the essence of the whole conversation when what we talked about is because some people just don't understand what it really looks like at the middle part of raising children. But going through that process and having to deal with the consequences at the end of it, and then the individual who's not there just basically showing up for the parade and not doing the work, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So I commend you. I commend both of you guys for that.
Thank you. And we'll
Did we lose the host?
Xavier will be back. There's a little comic relief. We'll just say that, but again, we want to kind of conclude this part of the conversation by saying hats off to amazing fathers, the fathers who are present.
Yes.
That's who we think you are.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
my father, my dad, Pastor Jones, and my son's father. Like,
Celebrate them.
I have nephews that are in their 30s or late 20s. They are amazing fathers. Like, I just want to say thank you because your role is so necessary. It's so important to both their daughters and their sons. So, Xavier, Xavier, what happened, friend?
I don't know. I was sitting here talking, and it just went. My laptop just went off on me.
Okay. We recovered.
We gotta enjoy this laugh, y'all. I just tell you, we just gotta enjoy this laugh. I just
didn't want me to be. I'm sitting here typing something to go on the next segment, and my laptop just restarted itself.
You know what it was? Your laptop actually went on strike for Juneteenth.
Yes.
So
it went on strike. It said, "I am not working today."
Yes, it is. So we can.
But so that means while I was going, it was still recording.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Thank God, because I thought I lost. So let's go into Juneteenth. What is really the Juneteenth name?
Oh wow! Whoa!
Emancipation.
Right.
Can I be honest with y'all? Listen, I'm just gonna be honest. When I was growing up, I didn't hear about Juneteenth.
That's right.
And I was in New York City, grew up in Harlem African American station, literally, and I did not hear about Juneteenth at all. They even taught Black history. I'm being honest. They would talk Black history in school. I mean, I went to predominantly African American school from elementary school on up, even college, the HBCU.
And I think a lot of it had to do with Texas, because it was originated in Texas.
Yes.
That it was, even in textbooks was probably would indicate that Juneteenth, a Texas recognized independence for African Americans. But because of that, it didn't become a northern, like most of us were northern raised, born and raised.
Not know.
Yeah.
We're Nancy and I were Jamaicans. We wasn't raised that we knew about history.
That's even worse. I found out about Juneteenth actually when I was in the military, and one of my shipmates was actually from Texas, and it was Juneteenth. He was like, "I'm celebrating Juneteenth." I said, "Dude, what is that?" And he looked at me like, "You don't know what that is?"
Oh wow!
So in my ignorance, I learned knowledge. You know, and it's now being recognized, of course, federally. So I think that it's getting a lot of more movement with it. But at the end of the day, it's a separation between African American independence and American independence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be the fight for the future. I believe that individuals are going to try to make it look like, well, you want your own independence? Yes, we want our own independence. First of all, we didn't want to be enslaved.
Celebrate.
Yes, all the
slavery. And even now, there are only a few states that really acknowledge it as a holiday.
Yeah.
Even now, it's not many. I know Maryland is one, Georgia.
New York.
You know, it's about 6 of those. Sorry?
Well, then again, let me take that back. And maybe more red states that recognize it than blue states, because Texas is a red state and Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they still recognize it, which means that the population is being heard. Mm-hmm. But if you take that into account for a lot of different places, and it doesn't matter to some people. That some areas it might not matter. Colorado, it might not matter. Utah, it might not matter. But it should matter to those who matters, which is us. And we're going to have to fight for it to be a day to celebrate. If it's not for us to celebrate, but for our children and our legacies to celebrate.
Right.
And
they even said that it's not even acknowledged in California as official holiday state.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, it's something.
But Cinco de Mayo is, but I'm sorry.
Yes.
Right. That's because drinking is associated with it. That's just like St. Patrick's Day. That's because people can drink.
Right.
It's, drinking is associated with it. So, but I do believe that we're on the cusp of this holiday being an actual holiday for all states. and the celebrations will get larger. I'm glad that we're now talking about it. I'm glad that our African Americanism is being celebrated, and it's starting with us, that we are
It is.
honoring who we are and where we've come from. So I think if we do more of that, this is going to be a real national holiday. So
So, do you think it would be overshadowed? And Xavier, you probably can answer this with clearness. I'm a big believer that if celebrations, you need to like look at Fourth of July. The Fourth of July is celebrated in the only month that it's celebrated in. There are no other holidays that are celebrated if you count flag days and all the rest of the holidays that may be associated. But think
Right.
about this now. This is not only Juneteenth in this month, but it's also Pride Month too as well. What
Right.
happens that is overshadowed by one celebration than the other, or can it be combined or can it be individualized as its own individual holiday and still exist throughout time?
Well, it's like Martin Luther King. Martha, his actual birthday is the 15th, and
Yeah.
whenever that Monday, so say his actual birthday is the 15th, and it's a Friday. So the holiday would be the Monday where everybody get off and that everyone gets paid for Martin Luther King. I I'm not sure if they might give you the holiday off, but I don't know if they're paying you for the holiday.
Well, it might be like the Martin Luther King. You get President's Day or Martin Luther King Day off. You don't
Right.
get both. So you can
Right.
observe one or you can work for the other. They may do that, but and if you it's gonna be I'm looking forward to seeing this debate down the line on the page.
Same here, because even like I didn't even realize Father's Day and Juneteenth fell on the same day. I was like, oh my God, for real? So then just imagine if Pride was the 19th, we would be celebrating three holidays. The
mhm.
Yeah,
same
one day.
Happy
Yep.
Pride.
Right. Happy Pride.
But what you were saying, John, so you think that
I think it'll get its recognition. I think
It
it's the
will.
fact that they made it a federal holiday
Yeah,
gave it a lot more power. Now, what we have to do is, as African Americans, we got to learn how to celebrate ourselves and stop
absolutely.
Yes,
waiting for somebody else to celebrate
that's
us.
it.
Because at the end of the day,
first,
if this is our independence, then let's celebrate our independence. We are a viable spending power in the United States of America.
Yes, we are.
If we spend our money on and I'm not trying to divide the country. I'm just speaking in general. If we spend money on the fourth like we did we spend money on the 19th like we do on the fourth, you will get heard. Trust
Oh
me.
yeah. Our money is power, absolutely. But and not
right,
only that, again, as I always say, I feel like we set so many trends. We are the trendsetters. We are the culture. And so if we celebrate, if we create parades, if we create platforms, concerts, everybody's going to want to be a part of it. I mean, we are the stuff.
Yes.
It is what it is. We got the heat, we got the juice. We always have and always will. We got the rhythm and the beat. We are
right,
the it
right.
thing.
And
So,
you hit it right on the head
I
with that
mean, it
because
is the
the
truth.
black artists can go out and do concerts. You can have,
Yes,
I mean, we don't own barges to put fireworks on, but we can rent them. We can do our own fireworks, and that's the thing. We have to make it important to us because
Yeah.
we can't. We're not doing Juneteenth for other people to make it important to us, are we?
No,
No,
we're not
All
waiting
right
for
then.
them. Right, right. We creating our own.
That's
And
it.
as I literally took a second to Google what are some Juneteenth activities near me, and I love to see that it's actually a diverse culture of people who want to celebrate, who wants to help us celebrate. But I do see that there are a lot of African Americans that are starting things up, and I love that. I mean, if who knows how to party? Well, we do. So
Every day.
right.
so I think that this will give it a few years. It's marinating right now. It's sitting in the refrigerator with the seasoning on it. But give it a few years and it's going to be phenomenal. Watch.
And it couldn't happen at a better time. Listen to this. You got
I
sun, you got great weather, you got engagement, you got opportunities. It's just time to really just again re-celebrate ourselves. Learn how to celebrate ourselves. Stop waiting to depend on somebody else to give us recognition. I look at
Right.
I look at
I
Martin
like
Luther
that.
King.
I
I
love that.
don't I prefer to work on Martin Luther King's Day and take off the following. And let me tell you why. His
Wow.
fight was for me to have the equal opportunity to be able to do things. So on
Equal.
that day, I'm recognizing him. I recognize that he fought for that day. And then I'm gonna take off the day that has nothing to do with anything, but I'll take the next day off. That's just me. And I've done that forever because I wanted to give an acknowledgement to him and saying thanks, for allowing me to have the position and opportunities that I have.
So let me ask everyone a question. Do you think that because of when it started back when, do you think that they would ever pay black people like how they do the Jewish people and other ethnic groups? Do you think they would ever recognize it started 1835, 1836, something like this? No, 1865, something like that.
Mhm.
That do you think that they would ever recognize the slavery back then they came free? Do you think that they would ever say, okay, all black people that came from slaves, ascendant, would get paid? We wouldn't pay taxes or anything like that. You
I
don't think?
doubt
No,
it.
no. There's the reparation I think we get that I want to stay. I will go off topic on this
That's all
in
right.
a
That's all
heartbeat.
right.
Go
But
ahead. We're listening.
it's
Right.
the 40 acres of the mule is not going to happen
Not gonna
because
happen.
and I urge every American, please look up the history of the 40 acres and a mule. Just look it up first before you pass judgments on reparation,
Right.
because then you will understand the reason why the fight is there.
That's right.
It's
That's
not because we're begging for something. This is something that was given to us, and
Right.
because of the value of what they gave us and what we made out of it, you hit on it perfectly. We made it hot.
right.
Those same areas that we're talking about now, the original areas. Look down at Florida and Atlanta and all those areas. Those are inhabited areas of the 40 acres and a mule. South Carolina, North Carolina. Those are some very inhabitable areas in which the 40 acres and a mule was given to us. But because
Right.
of its profitability, it was taken away from us too. Rosewood, a community filled with Black African Americans, was destroyed because of its commerce. Black Wall Street, Kansas, was destroyed because of its growth and its wealth. Some say they were destroyed because of the oil that it had underneath of it. Whatever the fact is, we made every single area when we were united hot. We made it that way. We made it profitable. So
Right.
now when we look at reformation for us, what would that even look like? You're going to give us one day off and take taxes off for one day and
Right.
overcharge me the next day?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And I just think, right, I just don't, I would love to see it, but right now, even with race relations, and I can't say it has increased, I feel like there's been layers that has been peeled off and the way people truly feel has come to surface. I can't
Mhm.
see us being given anything. We will continue to work very hard for what we get personally. I would
Right.
love to see it though, but
Right.
you can keep the mule. Just give me the land. Give me the acres. Ooh,
Do you
keep the
think they
mule.
would,
I don't want.
do you think that they will educate, because I didn't grow up on knowing this,
Me either.
like Nancy, the rest of us. So you think because it's a national holiday, since Biden put it into what's the word,
Observation.
observation, so it would be ingrained in school where people would learn their history, because now black history is being changed.
Well, it's yes.
It will be.
It's engraved because it's engraved anyway. The fact that it's federal, technically we are being paid for because there are a lot of African American federal people that work to get paid and non-African American. So a payment is being done as far as that aspect. But will it be engraved? Absolutely. But it's not Congress. It's not the president. It's us. The only
Right.
way this is going to be important to anybody is if it's important to us. Look at again. I put Pride in as an example. I watch how the movement, and I can tell you, I was one of the most ignorant individuals when it comes to understanding the culture of our brothers and sisters, white American, it doesn't matter, that in the homosexual community. I had no idea about it until I had to figure out how to learn what it is, because as a human, I want to be a part of understanding you, not just judging you. But
Right.
the force in which pride has taken its toll, it is triumph over and in my opinion, it's even triumph over, in some cases, civil rights, because it has been recognized, and there is a force behind it. We have to do the exact same thing when it comes to recognizing ourselves as a race. We have to have the same exact force. What happened to the parades that we used to do? What happened to the marches? And as I said before, we talked on the last commentary, what happened to the NAACP that supports everything we do? Do you know if every single African American gave $10 to the NAACP, it'd be one of the most wealthiest organizations today? If we gave $10 per pay every single, that's 52 weeks, 52 or 26 weeks pay periods in a week, that's 200 and something dollars per person, per African American. It would be the most forceful organization to exist today. And it puts back into our own communities. Right. That's 40 acres of the mule right there. Well,
I agree. I'm a challenge it. Let for a second, because our time is drawing nigh. I wonder if the reason why we don't get behind some of those larger organizations is because of mistrust, and because of fear of mishandling funds, and the fear of when my son was incarcerated or my son was accused of murder, I needed the NAACP to back me up, and no one showed up for me. So it does get a little, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying maybe, that could be some of the barriers that we would see if we tried to implement something like, hey guys, why don't we all give to this organization?
Yeah. And that's community oversight is the key. It's having individuals that are rotating throughout that community oversight too as well, so it doesn't come stagnant. I think the longer you stay stagnant, the more you can be corrupt. But and that's even the positions and of power. The longer you stay in power, the easier you to be corrupt. But I think if the oversight is there consistently, that we will have an opportunity to actually sort of wear away. Will it go away completely? No. Most of our historically Black colleges are not being destroyed because of not being funded. It's been destroyed because of misuse or misappropriation of funds.
Facts.
Right.
So
yeah. It was a good conversation.
Yes. So what's your closing statements, everyone?
Ladies first.
Oh, okay. I'll start. Again, just to reflect back on Father's Day, I just want to say to all the fathers, thank you. Thank you for your time, your effort, your finances, your protection, and to the fathers who actually have fun with your kids. And I just want to encourage somebody, don't spend all your time working. Sometimes the kids just need you to have fun with your children. We want to say thank you. Thank you for showing up for them, because you help build an amazing community if you invest in healthy children. So thank you, thank you, thank you. My name is Dr. Dion Smith. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I am also a pastor. My website is www.madewholecounseling. If you would like to connect with me, please do. However, if you don't and you need my assistance with finding a therapist, definitely email me. But you can always go to www.psychologytoday.com and find a therapist in your area. Let's all work together to work on ourselves.
Thank you, D.
Thank you, Dr. D, for being who you are.
Absolutely.
My closing would say, again, I celebrate fathers, celebrate you, celebrate dads, uncles, grandfathers, godfathers, everyone that played a role in a child's life. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Hallelujah.
I just celebrate you. Yes. Children are who they are because of you. Because of you. Thank you for your time, your effort, your love, your prayers. Thank you. It's needed. It's needed. You are the pillars of the community, men, fathers. So thank you. Thank
Amen.
you. So, and with Juneteenth, continue to teach, educate our African American community. Let them know what is Juneteenth. Teach our younger generation. Teach anybody around you. Put it on social media. Put it out. Let everybody know what the day is all about. And let's come together and make it happen. We are the
Yes.
ones that can make it happen. Go on the borders of culture, wherever. Tell everybody. And as the years go on, it will be in the textbooks. Yes, it will be a day off. Yes, everybody will get paid for it.
Right.
Yes, if I should prophesy that, yes, Lord,
Do
it
it.
will be.
Lord
It will
Jesus.
be. Managers, okay, have to be that one to escalate it. Yes, I'm saying it.
Amen.
They have to share it abroad. Let everybody know.
Yes.
Our Black African American managers, I'm speaking to you.
Yes. Amen.
Anyway, so yes, we are the ones that can educate and tell everyone about it and the importance
Yes.
of why, the importance of. So I am Dr. Nancy Watson. Yes, I am a pastor as well of New Life Ministries in Dover, Delaware. So I can be reached at nancywatsonministries.org. I am a licensed social worker as well as certified coach, life coach. So I'm here for you. You can reach out to us. Thank you, Xavier. Thank you, John D. It was an honor being with you all. Okay.
It was a journey with
Yes.
Brother John. Your closing
So,
statement.
I'll say I'm gonna combine the Father's Day and Juneteenth because both are fragile. Both are fragile in the meaning that I believe that we have to give more life to both of these days in order for it to be consistently celebrated and honored the way it should.
Right.
There's no way it's not. We're not talking Black Father's Day. We're talking Father's Day completely.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I say that because we have to accept our role as protectors and leaders
Yeah.
and stop whining about who's not recognizing it. I recognize, as you can see on this panel and every single one we do, I'm an apex Black African American male, but I am an apex father too as well. And I'm not just a father to one, I'm a father to anyone who needs guidance. I don't care your race, your color, your creed, your sexuality, your standards, your structure. I believe that if God placed you in my presence, then I am here to give you any kind of advice that you need to be a father to those who need fathers.
Amen.
Second is the Juneteenth thing. Like I said, we have to recognize ourselves. We have, again, stop. It's the remorse and the self pity. We're not doing that. We're 2022. We're taking charge of our own destiny. We're pushing our own structure. We have the platform. There are no restrictions. And now it's time for us to do the work to make an example of what it is and let everybody else enjoy what we put together to celebrate.
Yes.
Now we become functional. So I'm John Bryce, of course. I am one of many things, and I don't think I've ever approached everything that I do. So restaurant owner, I'm a licensed nursing home administrator. I'm a mentor. I'm also a public speaker too, as well. So if any engagements with public speaking, by all means, I'm always willing to be there and do that. You can reach me via email. My email is both Gmail and Yahoo. It's uppingcoming, UPINGCOMING. And I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, it's John Bryce. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. So you can reach me any way possible. If you just want advice, you just want a conversation, you just want to see. And I'm very good at leadership. I'm a leadership coach that coaches leaders to be leaders, because just because you have the position doesn't mean you have the education or the knowledge to do so.
Right.
That's
So
right.
you can always reach me. And Xavier,
Oh,
Dr. D, Dr. Nancy, as usual, I always appreciate you guys. And no hair twirling.
that's right. We did good. We stayed on time. But look, I like the idea, Xavier, to have a show about leadership. John,
Oh,
John
yes.
can talk
Now
about
you're talking.
all his
Come on
nuggets
here.
out
Next
at
month.
mental
Next
health
month.
and
Next
self
month.
wellness. And
That's the topic.
because I love what he said. And I mean,
Yes. We do need leadership coaches.
we
Yes,
Yeah,
we
do.
do.
yeah.
That would be
And
amazing.
please leave people with understanding this. Don't, I say this all the time. It's the person, not the position. Stop living up. I have 1,000 different titles, but the only one that matters to me more than anything is my name, John Bryce, because that's the only thing that goes with me with every single title, every position.
Right.
The only
Well,
thing. And
except
so be the example for that position. Don't let that position be the example for
a
you.
woman.
Right. Well, everyone, thank you
I
so
was
much.
about to go somewhere else, but okay, yes.
But if you have to,
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Lord. Well, he said, the only thing that goes with you, to be honest, like Nancy, the only thing that goes with you, he said, is your name, right?
right.
I said, except for women. We changed our names. Anyway, that's another topic. We gonna pray.
That's true.
We changed our. Honey, we could be. Listen.
We
But
Anyway.
listen, you become. But that's what they say. The time behind every great man is a greater woman, and that's the hidden shadow of making that name. You're making that name more powerful by your presence.
Oh, wait a minute, John. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. Hold
Come
on.
on, Auntie.
Hold on. Did he say this on purpose, studio audience?
Yes, he did.
Say behind? I know you didn't say behind.
See,
You didn't
there
say
we go.
behind in
There we
2020.
go.
You
There we
stand
go.
with your
Don't
man.
do that. No,
This
No,
is
I'm
so
sorry
good.
because
Stop.
according
Hold
to
up.
the scripture,
See?
no, I'm gonna finish my statement. According to the scripture, we would not take it from your back. We would take it from your rib cage. And the last time I checked, it was on the left or it was on the right, but it wasn't.
God.
Praise God. So you didn't. We don't stand behind you, man of God. We stand with you.
With you.
God
Yes.
bless you.
The church finger goes up. And I'll say this. Leadership has one role. And you cannot, it can't be an oxymoron. Leadership has one role. You cannot, in one statement, ask me to be a protector and provider and be beside you, because I can't protect you. Listen to me. I can't protect, listen to me. I can't protect you if you're right next to me. I need to protect you from all angles. You got my back, so that nobody gets in front of you to have you. I'm going to take the first shot.
We are the weaker vessel in terms of that. Xavier, you need to press a part 2 on this, because I think this right here.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna take
this right here.
Look, you see them men up there? You see them men?
This
we get it to now.
Look, come on.
This right here, Xavier. Listen.
This is what
I believe. Dion, I hear. Can I just chime in just a little bit? Now, I do believe that the spiritual context in terms of where we, how we were developed. Yes.
100%.
And the Bible also talks about we are the weaker vessel. So I do believe that the men have a presence. Okay, D, I know she's going to take me, but they do have a presence, a stronger presence than a female. A lot of females may disagree with me. I know you are. I know you are, women. I know you are. I know you are. But listen, I agree with that. And also, we are the weaker vessel. It doesn't mean that we're weaker in terms of character. Okay? I'm not talking about that, but in terms of strength, we are. Okay, I'm going to pull back. Dr. D is looking at me like, Dr. D is looking at me like,
I am, because the words in the Bible also were translated and transliterated, right? So we have to make sure that we're defining whatever that weaker word. We need to get that original text to see what specific definition is attached to that. I agree. Physically, we bear children. We are physically less strong. That is all.
No.
Physically, we are
Listen,
there is no
you
no.
cannot allow me to
finish.
Wait, let her finish, Dr. John. Let her finish.
We are
Xavier.
Wait a minute. I want to be clear that I don't consider myself a feminist, and I actually have a lot more traditional values than most feminists. However, I absolutely would like a man to be my protector, but I am also his protector. We can't just look at physical strength in the area of protection. Women have a sixth sense. Hold it. I am not done because y'all
do.
got me riled up.
I do agree. Go ahead, Dia. Let her go. Let her go. Go ahead.
Men, you think of how we were originally brought into this world. The man had to use whatever he had to kill food to bring it to the home. The women prepare it. I get that. But women, almost not only in humans, but in animals, we have a sixth sense that is just as needed as your physical strength, meaning we are your eyes. We literally are your eyes.
Right.
Literally. Why? Because that was designed to keep our young safe. God gave, see, we use our sixth sense now to track y'all cheating. Okay. We use our sixth sense now. No, that's real. We use our sixth sense now to say, oh no, you lying. You wasn't where you said you was. Literally, we use our sixth sense now to pick up on lies, and we can smell something not right. But our original sixth sense was to keep our young and the household and the family safe. So yes, I definitely agree. Men, you are our protectors. There are going to be times you stand in front and you lead. But my brother, there are times where my eyes are going to see further than what you see. And my job is to guide, is to let you know I sense danger ahead. We are beside you, my friend.
So can I'm just going to say it this way.
You can go ahead.
Allow your essence to be the secret weapon that the world doesn't catch on to. While I take these blows, you're that one in the back that's guiding me. You're my ear. Listen to me.
We got to end this show.
I did no interruption. Just listen. You're the one that's giving me the sight, the vision, to hear, to listen. But let me take the blows. I don't want that. I don't want that to be replicated with you, because if fighting two battles, I'm going to lose every time.
Right. I
I'm going to lose because I can't see my wife being attacked and me not fight for it. But then I lose my leverage. Because at the head of the household, I'm losing my leverage of protecting when you're trying to be my protector. Allow me, hold on. Allow me to do the job that I was here to do, which is protect and provide. But also enjoy the provisions of my protecting and advising without trying to be my equal. Listen to me. Without trying to be my equal, because if I wanted to marry another apex, I'm no apex. I want to marry a man. I married a beautiful woman who I want to take care of, and I want to make sure that she's taken care of, and she's smarter than me. All gifts.
Why is it that when women say we walk beside you, why does that immediately make you think that we want to be your equal in a way where we're trying to emasculate you or take away your power? What I am saying is, yes, wait. What I am saying is, yes, I would like for you to lead the home, but I need you to not, I think the words of behind and stand quietly while I do this or that, I think that bothers me, because we take that sometimes literal to mean you be quiet over there, I'm gonna do all of the protecting. No, we also protect you. And yes, we could do it quietly. We could whisper, hey, baby, God showed me. So don't take I-10 today. Go take I-12 because there's going to be an accident. We also are your protectors in various ways. But listen, why does it seem as though
there's a military saying.
It's the military side of you, John. That's why you say
No. Listen exactly what I'm going to say.
Okay.
There's a military saying that says in elite units that I have your six. That means I got your back. Do you know having my back is more important than having my front? Because here's the thing. If I lose you, I lost everything. The mission is done. But if I know that everything behind me is 100% is going to be protected, then I have the ability, the courage, the influence to be able to do everything in front of you.
Exactly.
And it's understandable that you see that the role, but how can I protect you if you're right beside me?
Sir, I think both you and I are doing the same thing. I think maybe I have, okay, when I think of behind, I'm going to have all your sides. I'll have your back, your side, whatever. That doesn't necessarily matter. I feel like it's the placement of the girl. Look, like y'all women, y'all be quiet over there. We got this. No, we are partners in this life. We are partners in this life. And there are areas your blind spot will never see that God will show your wife first.
That's exactly why the statement. But I like what you just did, though. I love it, because that emotion is exactly the emotion that goes in our society. It's about position. It's about the title and position in which an individual in. That has nothing to diminish your actual leadership, your ability, your strength. It's just the position and placement. It has nothing to do with anything else. The recognition of it is that you are one unit, period. Right. Doesn't matter. And most of the attacks are never going to come in front of me. Most of my attacks will try to creep up behind me. But guess what? When I got the strongest person in the world, I'm going to keep saying that word behind me, because you know why?
It's ramping up.
It's ramping you up. And I like that. But think about it. I would gladly, and it's positions where it's vice versa, where we have to play that role to be behind you to support you.
Well,
we have to.
So Xavier, we're live. We
are live, and
but you can edit this part. You can edit this for another thing, because we gave our salutations. But go ahead, Dr. Nance.
This is good. All I can say, this is good.
We went way long.
Personally, I'm just gonna say it like this. I don't know how to exactly say. I would want my man in front of me. I don't know how to explain more than that, because I want you to be that leading guy.
Right.
I want you to. I don't need to be leading you. Don't get me. I don't. If I need to be leading you, then I don't need you.
For example,
it's just me. So I don't know. Xavier, you need to. I'm telling you, this needs to be a part two.
Wait.
Listen, so you can just say, because that's just y'all. That's just me. Okay, I can't. Two people can't lead at the same time. You just can't. You just two people can't lead at the same time. You gotta have somebody ahead. The problem is, God Almighty, help me, Holy Ghost. The problem is, a lot of men don't take the lead. Right. So the women gotta be put. Come on, honey, you got it. Come on, I'm tired of that foolishness. We need our men to stand as men. Take the lead. You need to go in and guide, lead, man. I can't. I don't need to be all that. I need to come to you for something. Why I always got to be leading people?
Dr. Nancy,
I'm a pastor, yes. So my position is to lead. But when you in the house, come on, and listen to this. Even as a pastor, you need a man there. People can say what they want. You know what? May the Lord watch. Maybe we need to do this one.
Wait, I'm going to say this statement. Hold on.
Listen,
I don't want it to be misconstrued. I don't want my words to be misconstrued.
Right.
I am more of a traditionalist than I am a feminist, but I'm always pro-females. Okay, so I might stand in a lane by myself. I guess the way I think is because that I'm in front of you has been abused. And then we have those that are in front that diminish, are condescending, that don't value that woman's voice, her discerning, then that's where issues arise. But I absolutely agree. If we're specifically just talking about safety and position, yeah, go ahead. Please get in front of me. Take the bullet, friend. Right. Yes, I definitely agree with that. But
Doc, don't you think
want to misconstrue that position of be quiet. Look at men. Okay, now I'm going to get into
no.
Men
but
are.
I think you're mixing the water up. You're confused.
I am, or you
are. You're mixing the water up with the fact of mature men and men. It's a difference. And why would you stay in a relationship where you're not valued in the first place?
Oh,
Because
listen,
if you're in a,
America,
hold on, listen to me.
come on.
If you're in a relationship where you know
I'll
that
take
person
this
is
to
taking
another
over your
level.
credit
The
or just won't let you be a part of that relationship, then the choice is yours. But when you're in that fabric of a relationship where that person is just you're equally yoked, then there's no question about the maturity level. This is a mix of conversation, ma'am.
Sir, can
I'm
I
listening.
say this? What we aren't going to do is we're not going to make it seem as though it's just an individualized situation. If you look at, and I'm a lower my voice because I know I can get hyped. When you look at America, women are paid at a lower rate for the same exact work. America and other countries are by far abusing women way more, abusing their power. Sexual harassment is definitely where most of the time is where women are victimized. We literally just came through the Me Too movement, where women historically held secrets for years to protect powerful men who were just taken down. So we're not going to make it seem like, oh, if you're in an abusive relationship and you're not valued, leave. No, this is the culture. Like, don't act like now, if we're going to highlight the problems in our African American culture, you got to talk about the culture of how women are marginalized, sexualized, but not honored. We are just getting to the point. Kamala Harris is the first African American woman, the first woman vice president. First in all these years. So we're not going to act like this is Dion's or Dr. D's individualized circumstance.
And Obama was the first African American.
We're talking about women.
Ever.
There's been 1,000 men.
Mars and Venus.
We're talking about women.
But we're Mars and Venus. We don't live on a country. We don't live on a earth that's just women. We live on an earth that's a unified earth between men and women. We have to have our own roles. And the thing is, the problem is when we don't identify what our roles is here, we can't play it. You can't lead an individual who's trying to lead you. Sometimes you got to take the lead, and sometimes you got to follow. I know how to follow, so I know how to lead. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not immature enough to not know how to when I need to be led. But at the end of the day, I am a 100% apex male, and at the end of the day, as such, I am going to do my duty to protect my family, my wife, and my kids. I'm going to guide them as much as possible. And 90% of what I guide with is what my wife instilled in me to listen to. So the world doesn't have to know the intersections of what happens in my household. But what I will do, I will stand in front and lead, because I refuse to have my wife be the constant leader of every single thing in my life. And I'm sitting back like that.
Listen, when I challenged you, I never said I never said lead or boss you around. I never said that. When you use the term, she stands behind me. No, I am beside you. And I'm beside you in theory. In position, sure, it's take the front, take the bullet. I don't care. Stand in front of me. You can stand on my head. I don't care. But I'm talking about
I hope you do care, because if they take the bullet, you won't have me to protect you.
The understanding is she is my partner.
Well, that's understood already.
She's not the quiet thing that I boss around either. She is my partner, and her voice is just as valuable as mine. However, in your home, your decision is the final decision. That's okay, but
I think what happened is,
John, you have enough honor in you to say, we'll discuss it. I'm going to hear the wisdom of my wife, but my voice will be the final decision. That might be how it works in your house. And to that, I say that's beautiful.
No, the voice is the voice of reason for both. But what I'm telling you is the lead aspect. You cannot ask a man to be a man if you don't want him to be that. I can't be a woman just as well as you can't be a man. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the confusion rose when it comes to households, especially African American households, is men don't know where they stand in relationships where women should be paid equally as well as men, 100%. So what is my responsibility to be a provider for you? If you can provide for yourself, then what do you need me for? You got to understand what it takes to be a man. It's not me just identifying you as a woman, but me identifying myself as what is my position here as a male. What do I do here? Do I sit here, twiddle my thumbs, and allow you to do everything because you make all the money, or we make equal amount of money? Now, who makes the decisions in the household to protect this household? What is my role now? That's the confusing part of with America. Equality is 100% suggested and encouraged. But again, being an African American male in a society where over 40 to 60% of my African American counterparts are either in jail or non-existent, where's my position now in my household to be a male? And what do I teach these male kids? I want you to grow up to be a prominent man. I have no idea what you're going to do when you get into your relationships or how that constructs. But what am I teaching you now? Do I recognize women's strength? 100%. Every gift that I had started from the beginning was from my mom, the African American woman that she was. So therefore, I acknowledge that. But what I'm saying is, and I will never back down from the position in which I stand, is that as a African American apex male, I am going to 100% take care of my role of taking care of my household and making sure and ensuring that my job is done. The leadership is, yeah, I can be in front, but guess what? She has equal amount of responsibility in this household as I do.
We celebrate you, John. Happy Father's Day. We celebrate you. We will agree to disagree in some areas, and we agree in others. To all strong men who actually honor their wife's voice, I honor you definitely today. Happy Father's Day again.
And happy Juneteenth and happy Pride. So everyone, thank you for this interesting. We're gonna do a part 2 on this one.
Definitely.
You have to do it
on leadership.
I'm wearing a black shirt. I'm wearing a black shirt for that one.
Well, on leadership, or are we gonna do about the sexes? Because if we're gonna do that,
I think leadership.
Oh, okay.
all above.
I'm not.
All
No.
I'm
leadership.
ready for that one.
I know we doing leadership, but then we go back to that one.
Okay.
Right. So, or maybe part 2. Leadership and the roles. So, everyone, thank you for tuning in. This will be aired Father's Day to celebrate Father's Day, Juneteenth, and I also put Happy Pride because we're not coming on until next month. Anyway, but I thank everyone for tuning in. It was an interesting conversation with the whole panel.
Absolutely
interesting. Thank you so much for tuning in. And next month I'll be talking about taking some individual interviews, and I'm going to bring the panel back because this is always interesting to have Dr. Bryce. I call him Dr. Bryce today, Dr. Nancy Watson, and Dr. D, and I am Xavier's Journey. So while everyone is talking, basically everyone, I'm talking, everyone's listening. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube. You can find me on Xavier ERS Simpson on Facebook, and you can also find me on YouTube, Xavier's Journey. And if you want to email the show, you can either email us at Xavier's Journey, ZXAVIER Journey @gmail.com. And I hope to hear from you again soon. Tune in for tomorrow. This will be aired on Father's Day, so everyone will have a mouth of a whole lot of air to listen to. Thank you so much, everyone.
Xavier, this might go viral. The last part.
Yes.
That's all right. That's all right.
But listen, they need to know one thing: the respect that we have for each other is just 100%, and that's why you can have open conversations like this. And like she said, we can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, we got nothing but love and respect for each other every single day.
Yes. And thank you, everyone, for the last show that we had, mental illness and mental disorder. 680 views has been watching us. So while we're talking, people are listening.
Yes.
We are a panel. We love each other, and we love to just disagree and have good conversation. But everyone, thank you, and tune in again to our next conversation.
It's going to be hot. You better watch the next one. Ready?
I'm ready. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to have my statistics. I'm going to be ready.
Oh, I keep mine, right?
Mine too. And I'm going to be the moderator, make sure I keep everyone on point. So this is fun.
Bless you and God bless. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye. Have a great one, guys.
You too.